What's happening, chess fans? Welcome to Net Chess and Chill. Today is episode number 38 on my journey to 1200 ELO. So, without further ado, let's get into today's game. Alright, get some music on, and let's see who we're going to play today. So, I'm rated 1002. I've been having, I think I've said the past few videos, if you've heard, I've been having a little bit of trouble winning some games. Definitely back-to-back games. That is really hard for me, but I've been struggling to stay around 1000 ELO. I've been playing a lot of people that play pretty quick chess moves. I've been okay. We got a game. Good luck, Luis from Mexico. We're gonna play London. But yeah, I've been playing people that play really fast. It's been throwing me off. I've been playing people that play kind of weird moves against. I just played the London and the Caro and the Slav poorly, and yeah, I've been running into trouble with just keeping a consistent win streak, which this is by far my biggest plateau. So the two knights I don't think is that good of a move. Like if I was playing the Joe Bobble London, I would already be trying to think about forking him. However, we are not playing that system. We are playing just a regular London. So I'm going to play knight d2. I don't know what he's got planned, but a lot of times people bring the bishop out and their main idea is just knight b4, trying to fork. And they do, is what it seems like. So I'm just going to play c3 and continue as normal. Now, it's hard. I can't really trade bishops off here, right? Because my knight is a little bit in the way. Something I could do is something like that, but I think that's just kind of a waste of development. So I am going to just bring my knight to e. Okay. So he plays h6. I could play a move like this as well. What I worry about a lot of the times is a move like this. I can immediately negate it by having my knight come here. He more than likely did it just to give his bishop a place to go, which is cool. I think I will play this move because then I can actually trade off the bishop, which maybe that will be beneficial. Because the knight covers, right? So and this also stops him from bringing his knight into here. Okay, so he takes. I can kick the knight out. Okay. So he also takes there. So if I do something like this, he's gonna... this is pretty annoying, actually, now that I think about it. I can bring my bishop into here to kind of just build up pressure. I could also just kick the knight out, which maybe that's a good move. I think developing is probably better. So that is what I'm going to do. So if I do this and he takes, I take with the queen, right? And my bishop's defended again. So I am going to do that. I don't see a way for him to like really kick around my bishop. So it gets me developed. I'm not worried about just straight up losing my bishop now. Maybe it was a little hasty to bring my knight in immediately, but I feel like we're doing okay. Okay. Interesting. Huh. So if I take here, he takes. That can't be good, right? I take again. I think he has to take back. I'm gonna take the knight. If he wants to take my dark squared bishop, that's a different story, right? But yeah, I'm gonna do it like this. Super interesting that he thinks that I'm super worried about this. I can drop my bishop back. I don't know. I mean, maybe this is good. I don't have to castle that way. I mean, now I'm thinking about not castling that way, right? So I mean, it looks like he's probably going to castle queenside as well. I have checks like this. I don't think they do very much, but maybe they do. So if I take, he takes, I can take that pawn. I can also give a check. I'm gonna take the pawn. If he takes, I can take this pawn. And I do have this check that I can give. We are up a pawn now, which is kind of nice. So if I give this check, what does he do? I don't know if that's that great of a move. I could also... No, I can't give that check. It's got a rook there. I think maybe just moving the bishop is probably my best bet. I could come all the way back. I could come down like this as well. I don't think I really want to do that. I think I'm going to just come back. And we can decide where I want to castle. I'm going to give the check. I feel like he's leaving his king open. We're attacking the queen. And the king is out in the... kind of out and about right now. I should probably castle and think a little bit slower as well. I want to castle queenside, but I don't think I can anymore. So there's that. So we'll take with the queen. I'm gonna castle probably next move. My opponent is played kind of a weird game to me. I'm just not used to seeing somebody play chess like this. I'm looking at moves like this right now. Yeah, and they were as well, so I'm fine with that. So this is a check. I'm gonna probably take this moment to get castled on the queen side, and I'm looking at taking this pawn. So if he wants to take, I'll take. I didn't really want to do it like that, but I can see that that might be what he wants to do. We'll come back. Fine with that. This is an awkward, is definitely not accurate for me to have done what I just did. We got a lot going on here, don't we? I'm gonna take this pawn and attack the king. This is bad. I shouldn't have done this to myself. Oh, I'm in check again. Huh. Tough. Yeah, this is not going well. I got myself into a predicament. So he can bring the rook to d2, which is what I imagine he'll do. And he's got a pretty deadly attack on me right now. I'm kind of in rough shape. It would be cool to be able to get this queen trade in, but I don't think I should have that luxury. We shall see, though. I feel like I'm running out of check, or he's running out of checks now, which is a good thing. I want to give checks to the king, however, so I'm going to. He goes there. Okay, and now he's kind of running out of, or I have no checks now to give. What do I want to do? Turtling up is probably not a bad idea. I could also... I just don't want him to get in on the second rank, and I feel like he's going to. I could myself go to the second rank and then bring my rook over. So, idea now to bring the rook over. If he moves the queen, I can potentially give this check. I could move my queen to a dark square now if I wanted to as well. I don't want to trade my queen on this square and my king take and then lose this pawn with check, so I want to have something like this going on. I also can just start pushing these pawns maybe. Quite a few things I can be doing. So we finally got my opponent to slow down a little bit and think. We're about 2 minutes under him on time, and he's finally spent a little bit to think, which is nice. He's a human, hopefully. So I feel like we've played okay. He has this passed pawn, definitely a problem child, but we are still up a pawn, and I should be able to defend and at least trade pieces. And maybe if I can trade on this pawn, like, I don't know if he can I mean, I guess he can definitely defend it, but maybe we can find a way to win the pawn. So I guess he's trying to maybe push this pawn. I can defend and keep pressure on this pawn. Ooh, he had to move, like, moving his rook here though too, which would have been kind of scary. I don't think he saw it, but so he gives me a check. I guess that maybe helps. I don't know. Am I missing something? Pawn is hanging with check. His rook is hanging. Check. 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 We should maybe be able to win this rook. Unless he blocks with the queen. Even then, it looks like I can still do it. He can't block with the rook anymore, right? He's pinned. So he's got to move the king and lose the rook. I don't know if he's gonna like that. It's not over yet, but I mean, it's never over if there's queens on the board. So we win the rook. We want to play rather defensively now. Queen can't come anywhere over here. Okay. So he's threatening my rook. But I can simply maybe start checking the king over and over and over again. Check. 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 I can play this. Check. I like that one. Check. Maybe this. Oh, he takes the pawn. Duh. What am I doing? Check. 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 And check. Check. That's not mate. Checkmate. Okay, cool. We found it. We did it, guys. We walked the king all the way from his home, all the way across the board. That felt pretty cool. Feels good to win sometimes, guys. Feels good. So we're back up at 711, or 1011. I played with 74.8% accuracy, so I did have a blunder, 5 misses, 3 mistakes, and 4 inaccuracies. So let's see where we went wrong. I'm pretty sure a lot of the game was a little rough there at the end. So a lot of times when they bring out, like I play the Joe Bava London against this, and it's just winning a lot of the times. It's a mistake, but I've decided playing the regular London is quite a bit more solid, and that's what I'm going to be going with for, the foreseeable future until I learn another opening. And I like it. I know where the pieces go, and I know kind of what the game plan is. So I get my knight out. I get my knight to the center. This is kind of where I was like, I shouldn't have played that move. Pinning felt like a good move. The reason I did this was because I was like, I can defend my bishop if I did want to bring it to d3. But like you saw in the game, he just takes with his knight, and it's fine, right? That's actually a good move. So I took with my pawn. In this circumstance, taking with the bishop is better because I keep the scope, and I mean, where is he? He can move the knight immediately to attack my bishop, but I can just go back. And we keep our pawn pyramid. And then I can do things like this if I want to. We can trade the bishop, whatever. So, took with the pawn. His knight jumped in here, which is logical as well, because why would you want to go here to attack the pawn? So I moved my bishop to d3 here, and that was a mistake. It wants me to kick away the bishop, because yeah, I had decided at this point that I was still going to castle kingside, right? I had no reason to think that I wouldn't castle kingside here, so that was why I played this. If I played a move like g4, I would have never castled kingside. And I guess the computer thinks that castling queenside is fine, but I wasn't planning on doing that. That just happened naturally from playing the game. Him playing this move is actually where I was like, alright, maybe I shouldn't castle that way, because it looks like he's not going to castle that way, and I don't want to get just eaten up by pawns. I took here, which was not the best move. The best move is to give the check. Interesting. So I did think that taking was a fine move, and the computer likes it. It's a good move, and I backed the bishop up, right? And here I did this, which is straight up inaccurate. It wants me to just do what I was kind of looking at for a while. So I was going to take the pawn, I give the check, he can play this, But the goal is to do this. He takes, and I take the bishop, and I mean, he's probably gonna lose this stuff, and I could then castle kingside actually. But also, I think after this check, castling queenside immediately might be a decent way to go about it. And then doing this, because then you have the discovery attack on the queen. Yeah, I mean, that might just be killer. So, yeah, that would have been a great idea. However, I still wanted to. It was good for me to take there. That's good for me to know. I took the pawn. Not the best move. Getting my queen to give this check. Again, it's just. It's the thing to do. Taking the pawn was a little greedy, but I didn't mind. What was the best move here? Giving the check. It's strong. I saw it. I didn't think that I should not take the pawn. Because what I was worried about, I was like, when I give this check, I mean, the only thing he's going to do is push the pawn, right? So, coming back was whatever. I gave the check then, which is a little, eh. And actually, castling kingside might have been the move here, or queenside. But castling kingside is fine probably as well. But I decided to finally go for the thing that I was looking at. Taking, he takes, I take, and we're pretty comfy here. This pawn is hanging. I should have probably taken it immediately, but I chose to castle during the circumstance because he finally blocked the rook file. And I thought castling queenside was going to be great, but it actually wasn't, and it was annoying to do what I did here. So the problem with this is, one, there's a pawn and a check right there, but two, I can just take this and then I can do that. Well, actually no, I can't. I can castle kingside though and probably not worry about anything. These pawns really can't make any progress, so castling kingside would have been just better anyway, so I shouldn't have been so devoted to it, but I was like, it immediately fights for the file, but I knew that he was going to take, so he ended up doing it, which is by far the best move. I took, he takes, I take with the king, he gives me this check, which arguably is not that great. Straight up blundered. Yeah, this pawn, which obviously he takes. And it just makes more sense than my king walks his way back over here, maybe, or even just sits here the rest of the game, stopping infiltration. So yeah, that was kind of a mistake on my end. I took the pawn, he takes a pawn. I did this. Coming back would have forced a queen trade, which would have definitely benefited me. So definitely should have seen that move. That is not even a hard find. I just came from there, so you know, or well, I came from e4, but you know, f3 I don't think is a hard spot. This was where I was like, oh shit, like I'm gonna lose. But I decided to walk my king out instead of going for kind of what I think he might have been doing, was trying to repeat until he saw a checkmate. But we're completely winning here. Totally missed a good idea here. I had already thought moving the rook over to get it into the game was a better idea anyways to give this check, and then the king really can't go to many squares, and I have things like this after that, or even just this. Yeah, the king has to go here, and then I have this check, and he is straight up screwed. So yeah, that would have been sweet. Instead, I kind of did it like this, ran out of checks, and I decided this was the best way to defend my second rank. Not really, but we're solid as crap here. He can't get in. So that was a mistake as well. Pushing the pawn would have been a fantastic idea. Instead, the reason I think, I was worried about him just bringing the rook here immediately. I thought that might have been kind of annoying because I just put my queen here, so now I gotta concede and go back. And I'm trying to defend this pawn, right? That's the main goal. Because I don't want him to be able to get queened. So this was a weird move. He gave me a check, and so I had to move back down. I took the pawn with check, gave him another check, take with check. He takes. Now he is pinned, and that allowed me to give this check. King moves up. I win the rook. Not even the best move. Checkmate's better, and there looks to be a checkmate here, just because his queen's kind of blocking much of his progress. I don't know. There, I'm sure. Yeah, it says mate in 12. I wouldn't have seen it. I'm not smart enough working on it. But instead, I was like, oh, this has to be the move. It's definitely not. Just giving check with the rook is straight up checkmate. So I kind of knew after I played it. I'm like, what am I doing? But yeah, I took the stupid pawn. Instead, yeah, checkmate is way better, right? I mean, that's checkmate. So silly me. Yeah, and then I just kind of proceeded to chase the king around the board for a little while until I finally was like, oh, yeah, checkmate, and found it. It says I played like an 1150, which is nice because that's higher than I am rated, and my opponent played like an 850. His opening was apparently freaking awesome. He got 96% accuracy in the opening, so that's awesome. I had a pretty good opening as well, but I don't know. Middle game and the end game were just, they were decent. It's what brought down that overall average, I think. So, yeah, good game. We're rated 1011 now, so hopefully making strides in the right direction. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and I will catch you tomorrow.